Alright, so I'm going to give you a summary on the landing gear for the Harrier. As you can see, this is the main. This is the main gear, and you can see there, this is all handcrafted, so it's made out of wood, and this is more or less like a plug, if you will, a master mold. And what I'll do is make a plug of this and then cast it out of carbon, because I know carbon can do that. You can see there I might be taking one tire off the scissor action of the torque links. See there. Now there's no spring in here yet, and what I'm going to do, more or less, I'm thinking is probably just waiting until I get the airframe done, so that I can get an accurate weight. I mean, right now, if I was to incorporate springs in here, it would go inside of here. The spring would be inside of here. And what I would do, I was disassemble this by taking it loose here and here, and these come off. Then I can go in there with my saw, cut it down, and incorporate the spring. So now, when it hits and has there'll be a stop up here, it would have a bouncing action like that. Let me put the wheel back on. Let me see which way it goes. And so then it would have the shock absorbing capability. Now, what I do want to update on these is the brake. I don't have a brake on here yet. I don't know how I would design it, because I don't know that much about it, but that's what I need on here would be the brakes, so that way it'll be able to stop on command, especially with the engine running. You can see, like I said, this is the scissor action for the torque links, and this is the main gear. This one was relatively simple, wasn't really complicated. Just a matter of making the torque links according to the illustration and putting it together. It wasn't all that complex. But like I said, I am going to do this out of carbon. All of the wood structure will be replaced in favor of carbon. I'll use this and make a mold from it, and then make my carbon parts. This one wouldn't be that difficult. I could probably do it using tubes too, carbon tubes. I can either make them up, or I can order them and cut them to size, whatever. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but it wouldn't be all that difficult for the main gear. This would be the pivot point for the main gear. So that's to say then, this way is the front of the airplane. This would be the back, and this would be the front portion of the back of the landing gear. So it would retract. It would retract like so, like that, and be in a retracted position, and then come down for landing. And then you see the shock absorbing take effect. It's sticking right now because, like I said, it's only wood. There's no cedar on it, so it's kind of a jittery, jumping type situation. After I get the mold made and made out of carbon, I don't think I'll have that problem. So now this is the main gear. Now let me show you the one that I had trouble, or not trouble, but a real time. This is the nose gear, the landing gear for the nose of a Harrier. This is as scale as I can make it, yet it ended up growing, or whenever you do a drawing, if you don't follow it strictly, then by the time you put parts together and everything, it's grown a little bit. So this grew a little bit, but I don't think it's totally that far off scale. Let me show you. It's okay. Now this is This is extended with no tension on it, no weight on it. Okay. This is retracted. You can see oops, do that again. This is retracted, and you can see the difference here. Now, it's right up against it, like on the full-size airplane. So this one is more or less acting the same way it would on the actual airplane, where it restricts, it pulls in on itself. And when it's extended or retracted, then it comes down and opens up. And you can see how it opens up. The measurement of how far I open it up is in here. There it tells me how big of a spring, how long a spring I can have in here. I think it comes out to about 1.5 inches. So this would be about 1.5 inches, and I can't compress it now because there is no spring in there. It's all solid, a solid balsa rod, homemade balsa rod that I made, and it won't let me do it. I can't show you a compression because there's no spring in there. But this would be this amount of wood that's inside here right now will be taken out when I do put the spring in there. So it'd be about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, depending on how much room the spring takes up on full compression. If I go with full compression, I don't want the plane to bottom out. So I'm gonna have to go with something a little larger than full compression or tension, so as not to have the airplane, the weight of the airplane bottom out when it's sitting on the gear, especially when it's fully fueled and all that good stuff. So I'm looking at that right now. I wanted to demonstrate this for you so you can see where I am with the landing gear. And like I said, it's fully operational. This thing has a mirror effect, so I gotta remember which way to go so I can record it properly. But now, this is okay. Now this is fully extended, and you can see as it comes up, this is contracting or coming in on itself. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see here. Alright. Now, this right here, this area here is the area where the wooden dowel connects to the pivot point. There's a pivot point in don't know if you can. Okay, yeah, there you go. See that? That's the pivot point, and this is the dowel connecting to that. That connects all the way down to the pivot on the fork, on the part where the tire is mounted. And that would be taken out in favor, or a section would be taken out in favor of the spring. Just like on the main gear, that would be taken out for the nose gear for the spring. And in that way, it would have the shock absorbing capability as well. Now, on the airplane, you have these cylinders here. I think they're hydraulic accumulators or something like that. I put them on there for looks, but they don't have any actual use. It's just a look to give me a scale look of the nose gear strip. Thinking maybe including the tie down rings as well. So I don't know yet if I am or not, but you can see more or less where it's at this point in time. Let me, okay, now I'm going to extend it because it's retracted, and you can see the linkage that I'm using to extend it with. Let me do it again. Okay. Extend it, retract it. Okay, you can see it comes in pretty tight. I'm going to get a measurement from the pivot point to the axle. From the pivot point, from the axle here to the pivot point is covered up by my finger. But that there is the pivot point. From the pivot point to the axle would be the distance, and then plus including the diameter of the tire. Okay, and okay, let me show you this too. On the landing gear, when it's mounted, you can see this portion right here. Let me get it midstream. This. Okay. Pencil. Okay, this portion right here shows the landing gear. You can see the linkage there. You can get a good look at it. It shows the landing gear and the linkage. What that linkage does is allows it to pivot back and forth. You can see that bar coming, that dowel coming out there. That's the one that's connected to the fork. And that's where I'll be cutting off, or at least cutting a section out and putting the spring in there. So it'll have the shock absorbing capability. But now, you can see the linkage here. This thing got a little weight to it too. You can see the linkage here for the pivot. That's the linkage for the pivot right there. And you can see how it goes back and forth like that. Now, the landing gear, the nose gear, the mounting surface for the nose gear is this. This right here is the mounting surface for the nose gear. This right here, this portion right here, that's the mounting. That's the mounting portion for the nose gear. Considering the thickness of the skin, this will have to be removed somewhat, because you can see right there. This will have to be removed a little bit in order to compensate for the thickness of the skin, so that the strut doesn't stick out too far and it's not mounted crazy or anything like that. You can see here now. Okay. See how see how the landing, see how the nose gear is right here. Now that portion right up in here, that's the part that sits up against the bottom of the airplane. And it should be a couple more things that extend up, but I didn't include it. But you can see here how it'll sit on the airplane. And so now this portion here, this portion right up in there will have to be taken down to compensate for the thickness of the skin on the airplane, wherever it's mounted. However I end up mounting that, that'll have to be compensated for. Okay, now the other thing on here, because I said the complication of this is the fact that it has steering capability. See now, it has to be able to steer the airplane, so it has a steering capability in it. What I did was took the circle diameter, and divided it by 3, and that's where it's moving at right now. What is that? 120? Maybe a little less, because the fork or the arm for the steering mechanism takes a little bit of weight out. What I'll do is see if I can get that to you there. You see the steering portion there? See how it turns? That's the port where the steering would be connected. And that's the part where it would be connected at. You can see it's kind of busy. See there? Now see if I can get this to cooperate. This is the pivot for the landing gear, for the nose, to pull it up and down. This right here is one of the tongues or attachments for steering, and there's another one over here. I don't know if it's going to be a pull or linkage or something, direct linkage or indirect. I don't know yet how that's going to work, but you can see how the basics are there to get it. All I have to do probably be to refine it. And let's see there. You can see it turning there. You can see getting it all the way up as close as I can. You can see it turning there. That's the part that's going to steer the airplane. So, like I said, now also this is wood, so it's kind of rough. And if I do it out of the carbon, I'm expecting it to smooth out a great deal. And we'll just see how it goes from here. So, that's where the landing gear is at right this point. You are to get an idea of where I am with it. You can see it right there. There we go. See how it's steering? Look at the fork down there at the base and up there. That's backed with carbon, so I'm hoping it'll be strong enough. But like I said, this is a prototype too, so this may not even matter until I actually pull it. So now let me get it back up for you. And this is a 4-inch. The tire is 4 inches in diameter for this and the main. They use the same diameter tire. Okay, now it's fully extended. and turn it. Do it this way. If you can see that center line there, that's 0. I'll turn it this way so you can see it. So yes, that's like I said, I'm gonna have to see if where the screw is the center line. So I'm gonna have to see if I can increase the turning portion on that. But now you can see it, and okay. This is a prototype, so you can see it turning there. And it will retract. So, okay, now like I said, that's retracted. That's retracted in the retracted position, fully retracted. And one more time, I think you might have missed it. That's retracted in the retracted position, and that's extended in the fully extended position. So that's it. Now, and got a little weight to it. So you can see where I am with it. I haven't done the started on the outriggers yet. Maybe a day or two. Some things that came up here, and I haven't been able to concentrate because of some other things going on. But this is the prototype, and we're looking at making a mold and pulling it from carbon. And we'll just see how it goes from there. Alright, so okay. Yeah, that's it. That's the Harrier. Let's see here. This is the nose section. That's the nose section of the airplane. It comes apart here. Just slides out. Slides out like that. And I put the other one in the 2-seater. Let me get the canopy for you. Yeah, that's the canopy. I'm knocking stuff over. That's the canopy, and this is the nose section. I gotta get this effect right. That's the canopy. This is the nose section. And this is what I call the Daybird. It's the original nose section for the original AV-8B. And that's the canopy. That line you see on there is the datum reference line. So it'll give me an idea of where everything goes relative to the datum line. And it's a pretty nice size too. I don't know what the length of it is, but it's all 1/7 scale. get this effect right. I can show you. All 1/7 scale. This is the cockpit, which is just made for a mold. I'm not going to actually pull anything out of it. I'm just going to block this off and just make the mold come up to that point, so I'll have a seat for the canopy when I make it up to put it together. So that's it. I'm new to this, so I hope it came out all right where you can understand what I'm doing, but we'll see how it goes. I will get back with you when I have some more updates. So, got any questions or comments or anything? You guys know what to do. Here I are. Go be so. All right. Simplify.